right, I think we're live and ready to begin. Hi, everyone. Let me know in the chat if you can hear and see me well, and we will begin shortly. All right. Hello. I will wait for the first comments and we will begin with today's session. All right, so I will wait for your feedback. In the meantime, let me know in the chat where you guys are tuning in from. Share what you need a website for. This will help me tailor this workshop to fit your needs. And if you have any questions, feel free to ask them in the chat, and I will be posing throughout the session, and I will try to answer them as well if I can. All right, so let me check out the chat once again and see if we are live. Okay. Hi, I'm sure I'm pronouncing your name incorrectly. Anatan. Hi, hey, everything is just fine. That email of yours. Hi guys, so excited to have you today for this session. And as you can see, we have yet another zero block workshop where we will be creating custom responsive layouts that go a bit beyond pre-designed blocks. So if you're familiar with Tilda, it's a no-code web design editor or website builder that you can use to create any type of website. So you can create a landing page, you can create a multi-page website, you can add an e-commerce functionality to your website as well. You can create an online store, even a membership, so hide your content behind a paywall and stuff like that. But today we're going to be focusing on design side of Tilda, and we are going to talk about how to design a hero section that converts. All right, so the hero section is the cover of your website. It's it's your tool to make a lasting first impression, and today we will try to use the visual language to to hook your visitors in, to make them scroll further down your website, and eventually, turn just a regular session into a conversion or, a long-lasting connection with your audience. All right, so let me check the chat again. Hi, love from India. Hi. So excited to see you guys today, and feel free to ask any questions throughout this webinar, and I will try to answer them. I also have a moderator helping me out today, so your question will not be missed. And before we begin, just a quick overview of today's workshop and what we are going to cover today. So this is going to be a 1-hour workshop-ish, so maybe we will spend some more time on questions or, going around and exploring Tilda. And so first we're going to talk about how to get started with zero block. So a zero block is a built-in web design editor in Tilda. So instead of just building your website from a template or building your website with pre-designed blocks that Tilda provides, we're going to create our own custom layout and optimize it for different devices, see how we can make it more lively and stuff like that. All right, so next we're going to talk about how to recreate any layout using zero block tools. All right, so sometimes you browse for inspiration and you found this amazing website, but you're stuck because you don't know how to recreate this for your own page, for your own website. And today we're going to go step by step and just see the process behind creating different types of content, different types of design for your hero section. And next, we're going to talk about web animation and, just go over some basics and explore different tools inside ZeroBlock. So it's going to be basic animation and step-by-step animation that will help us make our website, make our hero section more engaging. And next, we are going to talk about customizing your layout even further. So we're going to talk about adding custom fonts, and then we're going to dabble a bit in auto layout, which is a tool that allows you to create flexible designs and make them responsive easily for different screen resolutions. And finally, we're going to be talking about just, general tips on speeding up the process so you don't spend as much time working in ZeroBlock, because this is an amazing tool and it really allows you to create your own unique designs and again, connect with your audience, voice your brand messaging in a way that fits your business. Right. Hi. Again, I'm just checking the chat real quick to see if everything is running smoothly. And for all Tilda attendees, we have a special promo code that you can see on the screen now, and you can grab it to activate 6 months of Tilda personal plan, which means that after the workshop, you can grab it now and you can go and activate it and start building alone. So this workshop will be truly interactive, but you can also grab it later, rewatch the recording and create your own website. So instead of a 2 weeks trial when you first register, we give you 6 months of Tilda personal plan to try out all of the premium features on Tilda for free. So that includes tools like e-commerce, ZeroBlock, of course, that we are going to be exploring today. You can create an online course, and you can, try and test and play around for whole 6 months, and again, see what tools of Tilda fit your needs best. All right, so there is that. I will also repeat this throughout the session, so feel free to grab this now, but I will also remind you, and we will send you a link in an email. All right, so as for today's workshop, so what we're going to do, we will be recreating this kind of hero section. So I have created just a simple prototype, and we will try to see how we can recreate this from scratch on Tilda, right? So again, this layout can be easily customizable to fit your needs. So I went for this branding portfolio, and I think it's a really great way to showcase content, because here you have a really bold, eye-catching headline, so heading. Then we have a call to action button that allows you to, speak to your audience directly and prompt them to take the next step right away. And here we have different visuals that help us understand what this page is about. And I think it's really important to showcase what your business does or what you do right in the hero section. And this will help you, hook your visitors in, make them get interested in what you do, and eventually scroll further down your website and explore your content, explore your website copy. So I think it's really important to just spend a bit more time on the hero section to make sure it really grabs attention. And this is what we're going to do today. So as you can see, we have this layout. Here we have this navigation bar at the top, some visuals and tags here. It displays a lot of content, so we are going to talk about how to bring this all to ZeroBlock. Okay, so let's go, and I've created this new website. And to create a new page, it's quite intuitive. So let me know, by the way, I haven't asked you, but let me know what, if you're familiar with Tilda at all, if you're familiar with ZeroBlock, have you worked in Tilda? Have you worked in ZeroBlock? Just how well do you know the tools? And probably if you're just a beginner, I will spend some more time explaining the setup. Even though it's quite intuitive, I think, again, if you're a newbie, I will be I will be glad to spend some more time on explaining things. All right, so you do that, and I will check the chat a bit later, but this is the dashboard. So when you create your first website, here's a dashboard, and you can access the site settings, and you can create a new page. So far we don't have any pages, and we will start with that. And here you have different options of how you can go about creating your first website. So of course you can start from scratch and build your website, build brick by brick using pre-designed blocks that Tilda has to offer from the block library. You can also generate a page using AI. So you will be asked to fill out a couple of prompts, and Tilda's AI website builder will assist you with creating your own website. And of course, we have different types of templates that you can see here. So this is a business category, so you can pick any template you like. You can go for an online store. You can go for link in bio. You can create a quiz form, which is a new type of templates that we have introduced recently. You can create a landing page for an event, a blog, anything you need is here. So today, for the sake of this workshop, we are going to be creating a website from scratch. So I will click create, and we are going to start exploring the page editor. So this is the page editor, and again, it's quite easy to navigate. So here, when you click this more blocks button, you can explore different types of pre-designed blocks for different needs that you might want to include on your website. So for example, you can go for a cover, about section, all kinds of titles, text blocks, gallery. Say you want to build an online store, there is a bunch of tools for that, and all you need to do is just click, and this block will be added on your website. And to add a zero block, so to create a custom layout, so say you have since we are building a hero section today, so the cover of our website, so say you're going to create your hero section. So you're exploring different options, and say you like this one or this one, but it doesn't quite fit your specific, your specific needs, your vision, or your brand, right? So there are different options, and what's good about pre-designed blocks that they are already optimized, so they were created by a professional team of designers and developers. So you can just easily add this to your website and just fill out the content. But sometimes you don't need that. So sometimes you need a more, a more custom, a more unique design. So let's delete that, simple as that, and let's click this zero button. All right, okay, so here's our zero block, and if you click the block editor button, you're met with this canvas, this artboard that we are going to be using today. So here is some default elements that were added, and since we don't need them, I will just quickly delete it, like so. And if you click this plus icon at the top, you can see what types of content you can add. So first, you can add a text. And so here at the top, you're adding different types of elements, and at the right, here's on the right side panel, you can customize and adjust different settings. So for example, you have added this text, and you go here to this right hand panel, and you increase the size of your text like so. You can also change the text color and so on. So you can add animation, links, anything you need is right here. Okay, so next you can add an image. So here's the element, you can upload it here. So actually I will go and upload an image from the hero section that we are going to build to build today. Okay, and what else we can add? So click the plus icon, you can add a shape. So say you want to add a shape and customize it. Again, all the adjustments happen here on the right side. What else? A button, super important. Again, we're going to be needing this button today. And what else? Video, HTML code. So if you want to have a more advanced layout, you might want to include that. But since this is a no-code workshop, we are not going to be needing that today. You can add a tooltip, a form, gallery, so practically anything you might want to integrate here. Okay, so let's delete the shape and let's go and see what we can start with. Right, so here we have our hero section. And so what we can start with. So we have already added this heading and a button. So let's go and copy the text. And so as you can see, the artboard is pretty easy to navigate. So here you have the columns that help you move around and place your elements where you need them to be. And for example, if you want to customize the alignment of the text, so say you want to align it to the center, change the color to black, and then align the element here again, so you can easily do it here. Again, same with the button. Say you want to change the text. So let's go and change the text here again, and I want to also change the color to something like this. And by the way, you can go and explore from the colors on the page. You can also go to the color library, and instead of just looking blindly for different palettes and color options, you can go and explore pre-selected colors and say we want something bright and pink. So I will do that, and I want to add just a slight gradient. So again, you can play around and add a linear gradient. You can add a solid, just a solid color. But since we have a slight gradient here, we're also going to repeat this here. Okay, let me pause and check the chat. Okay. Is it faster than custom websites like Next.js? Absolutely, yeah. Since it's a no-code tool, you can do everything visually right here. So for example, if you would create the same layout using custom code, it would be much harder. And again, if you're a beginner, help hiring designers or developers to help you with animations and stuff like that. Okay, so let me see. Okay, great. Again, if you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the chat, and I will be pausing and reading them. All right, so let me see what else we can add. So we need to change the background, and I will go and change it here. So again, to add a background color, I'm just accessing this right-hand panel, and I want to add a linear gradient, and I want to start with a violet, so something like that. And for the upper color, I want to add, again, something violet-ish. and set it to 100 pixels. Let me check out. Okay, so something cooler a bit. Like so. Okay, great. So here we have these. What we did is we changed the background color. We added a heading, a button, and an image. So say you want to expand the canvas, say you want to expand the grid container a bit. So you can easily do it by just dragging it down like so. And you can also do it here by just increasing the size of the artboard of the grid container in the artboard settings. So say I want my height to be 700 pixels. So we'll do that. And okay, so what else do we need to do? So let's go and add some more content. So I will increase this one, and now I need to increase the size just a bit like so. And we'll change the font again a bit later. So we'll set it to about 60 pixels. So the heading is going to be a bit larger. And I will decrease the spacing to about 1, like this. So typically with bigger headings, you might want to go for smaller spacing, so the text really pops. Okay, so I will align it here, and let's go and see what else we can add. So here we have this shape, so we can start with that. So we can start with this shape here. So let's go and add a shape. And place it somewhere here. And add yet another gradient. So I want to go for a linear gradient with, again, some violet shade like this. Okay. And increase the opacity like so. Okay, so now you can see this shape is covering our figure. So in order to fix that, click these 3 dots at the top and you can access the layers panel. So again, 3 dots at the top, or you can also click Ctrl L to access the layers panel. And here you can go and work with the layers order. And for example, I want to place this at the very bottom. So I will just drag it and place it here. And you can also click any element and choose bring forward, send backward, bring to front, send to back. So if you want to work a bit faster, you can also go for this option. Now we need to customize the border radius. All right, so let's go and access border settings. And here you just move this slider to, let's say we're going to go for 24 pixels. So right now we have these rounded corners that we need. Okay, so I'm going to place this figure right here. And let's go and check out what else we have. So we have this stroke, so we need to add a stroke. So again, go to border and add a stroke for that we have. Okay, and now we have it. All right, so there's done. Let's go and check out what else we can add. We can easily add this image. So let's go and click the plus icon, add image. So as you can see, I'm working pretty fast. So it really doesn't take that much time to, to place everything around, especially if you have a pre-designed, a pre-designed prototype, or for example, if you're building for someone else, you have a clear vision from your client, or again, just a plan to work from. Okay, so we need to go to the border settings again, and I will input 24 pixels, 24 pixels radius here, and I will go and send it to back. So this will automatically move my image to the very back. Okay, so I will click these elements and quickly align them to the center. Okay, so here we have this. Let's go and see what else we can do. So we can definitely add this checkbox. So I already prepared, I prepared this small icon. And it's super easy to just, to just add elements and play around. And it will stay exactly like that when you publish the page. All right, so I will do that. And what else we can do? Okay, so now we have this text element, this text bubble. Let's go and see how we can create this. And here's when the auto layout comes in handy, because this is a tool that allows you to group elements together and apply different rules, and they are going to be displayed according to these rules on your website. So let's go and add this bubble, and I will show you quickly how the auto layout tool works. Okay, so here we have, let's save our website. Don't forget to save it from time to time. Even though autosave works, still you might want to do that. So I have added this text element, and in order to clean up this unnecessary empty space in this container, I will go and quickly access this fit settings and click auto width. And this will shrink my container to fit the size, to fit the width of the text. And what this does is it allows you to work with the size of text as it is, right? So, and then you need to click, so right now it's just a text, right? So when you go to the element settings, you can work with, you can adjust the color, the size, you can change the font. So for example, set it to Arial, whatever you might want to change. However, if you want to add this frame, you need to go and you need to add a shape, and then you need to, again, change the color, and then you need to make sure that the elements are grouped, and it's a lot of steps. So we will skip that. I will remove the shape, and I'll show you a quicker way to achieve the same effect with auto layout. So let's click Shift A, and this will add auto layout to my text. And as you can see, the element is now nested within a group. So here we have a group with flex properties. So now we can edit this group, and it will be displayed according to the properties that we will set up here. Okay, so, and what we will do is we will first go to the background, and we'll change it to white, like so. And as you can see, every time I change, say I want to increase my text, this will adapt. This layout will adapt to any content changes, like so. Okay, we don't need that many phrases, so I will just delete this here. Okay, and again, in order to achieve that, you need to make sure that when you work with group settings, you might want to check if your settings are set to hug. So what the hug setting does is it virtually hugs the content within your auto layout. So for example, you want to have a specific width, so you can set it to fixed and it will stay like that. So if this setting is set to fixed, this means that the auto layout has a fixed size, right? So let me just quickly illustrate how it works. So for example, with the fixed setting, you go and change the content, but this background doesn't expand to match the content size. Whereas when you set it to hug, it will automatically expand to fit the text size. So we have a whole webinar on working with auto layout, so you might want to check it out. But we don't, again, this is a very easy use case and you can play around, and we also have a bunch of articles and content on how to work with auto layout. And it's a really amazing tool if you have a lot of content, if you have a lot of elements that need to be aligned in a certain way, that need to have certain, for example, spacing and stuff. Okay, so for now, we are just going to play with this small group with the small text element and set the padding. So for example, I want to expand the paddings a bit and make this element bigger. And I want to go and I want to make the border radius more rounded. So I want to have rounded corners like so. And probably set the paddings to 20 pixels, like so. So again, and every time you will be changing the content, the auto layout will adapt to fit your what's inside. Okay, so we have that. So let's place it somewhere here. And let me check the chat again if you have any questions. What if, for example, I want to make a button stand out more? Is it easy to add an animation to it, like a on-hover effect or something? Amazing question. And this is what we are going to do now. So for example, here you have this button. And let's go and see what you can do. So first of all, you can add an icon. So for example, you want to add an arrow. Again, this is a new feature that we rolled out. And so for example, you want to place it on the right. So after the text, you can easily do that. You can also increase the size, margins, etc., etc. So anything you might need. Okay, what else you can do with the button? So change the text. Obviously, we don't need it for now. So again, letter case, opacity. So you were talking about shadow effects. So for example, or hover effects. So first, let's go and let me see the message again. Amelia, so is it easy to add animation to it, like on hover effect or something? Yeah, so as for hover effect, you can easily go and, for example, change it to a different shade. So something like that. So for example, you want to make it slightly lighter. So when you hover over it, so, and this is how you do it easy like that. So you might also add a border on hover, so something like this. Okay. Hover. Okay, so you can also set the duration. So we are not going to do that. So you can set the duration. And so you can also create a different a shadow animation on hover as well. So for example, here we have this slight violet shadow. So let's do that. So I will add again a violet shadow, and I will add a blur. So as you can see, as I'm going with it, the design follows. So it's quite easy to do that. So let's go, and I will probably increase the blur a bit and decrease the spread to about 5. So you can play around with the settings. Okay, again, offset, we don't need that. And you can also add shadow. So you can add just another shadow layer, and you can add a shadow on hover. So say you want to make this button pop, and you want to create another shadow for the hover. So something darker that would make it really pop, like so. And let's see how it works. Okay, probably a bit darker still. So let's go and increase the opacity to 60%, so something like that. Okay, and this is how it would animate. Okay, and let's go and just make it a bit more uniform. So this is our typical shadow, and I want to have the same shadow but in different color. So I will just quickly paste the parameters here. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Probably we need to change, so since the button is getting lighter, we need to change the background text. So let's do that. Let's go to the hover settings again and set it to a darker shade, like so. Okay. Now, so this is what the button would look like when you hover over it. Okay, so this is how it works. So every element you add can be fully customizable. So you don't have to, you don't have to do it all manually using code. Okay, so we will work with the button a bit later. So let's go and see what else we can add. So we can easily add these two tags. So let's go back, and what I will do, I will just copy and paste this element because they're quite the same. So I will go and transfer my text like this. And what's amazing about auto layout is that it will adapt, and the parameters that you have set up here will remain the same. So for example, if I copy the same button, like the same tag, and input, for example, this brand strategy text. So clearly it has a different set of characters, but at the same time, we have the same paddings on each side and on the top and on the bottom. So everything stays the same, right? So for example, you want to change the background color. So we have again this purple background, and I will quickly save it to saved colors so I don't have to go and pick it manually every time. So I'm just going to click this save color plus icon, and it will save my color to the library, and I can access it later. So let's go and again color the background, and here I need to change the text color, and you can easily do it here. Okay, so, and again, for example, you might want to create a link. You want to link this element to a certain page, the certain section on your website. And for example, let's place it here, and you can go. So for example, I have a section that is dedicated to brand strategy on my website, and I will link this tag to the page, and it will be a clickable sort of link. Okay, let's go and add some more elements. And so here we have something a bit more complex. So here we have this social proof with some reviews. And again, it's really important to showcase that your product or your service is trusted by others. And if you can feature some types of reviews within your hero section, this is going to be really a killer conversion tool, because people will see that others have already used your product and they have something to say. So for example, you can create a bubble speech featuring a review, or you might want to include something like this rating element. It will help you, again, convert your visitors into clients faster, because they will see that someone has already used your product and they have shared their testimonials on that. From the look of it, it's quite complex, but it's easy to recreate without having to go elsewhere, without having to go and look for icons and, you know, pre-made elements. We can do it from scratch, right? So here we have, what we have is, we have this icon with the user, we have 5 stars, and we have text at the bottom. And since we have already played with auto layout a bit, let's go save the artboard and go and see what we can do. So first I will add a shape, and here we can change the shape type. So I'll set it to circle, and you can upload a background image here. Okay, so here's our background image. Now we need to add a star shape. And what we can do is we can go and add a vector element. Okay, so here we have added this tilde element, but we don't need that. We want to customize it a bit. And you can do it by clicking this edit vector, and you will be automatically brought to the vector editor. And say you don't need that, so you will just delete it. And here you can work with, you know, different vector shapes. So for example, I want to add a star shape, and this is what I'm going to do. So if you also, you can hold shift to make the star uniform. So this is a free form, and when you click shift, it will resize in this uniform way. Okay, so we have added a star, and now let's go and change the color. We don't need a stroke, so I will delete this and set width to 0. And I want to change the radius a bit. So my design is quite rounded, so I have a lot of rounded shapes, and I want to keep it like this throughout the whole website. So we'll set the radius to about 3 pixels, like this, and click done, and here you have your star shape. You can also, if you access the vector editor, you can also use a draw tool. There is a freehand tool that allows you to, you know, sketch out different, different images and illustrations, and they will be turned into vector automatically. So you don't have to go to Figma or Illustrator or whatever vector tool you're using and create design there. You can quickly go and do it here. Okay, but we have created this simple star shape, and that's enough for now. Okay, so in order to quickly copy and paste any element, you can click Control-C, Control-V, like that. Or you can hold Option and just duplicate it 1, 2, 3, 4 by dragging the shape. Okay, so now we have 5 stars. And again, if you click the star shape, it automatically brings you to the vector editor. So say I want to decrease the size a bit, and again, duplicate my stars. Okay, 5 stars now, just as we had in our prototype. And so as you can see now, the spacing between my elements is not uniform, right? So, and now you have to manually go and place them somewhat near each other, and it's a lot of work. Again, it's quite hard, and what you can do instead is you can select all elements again, and you can click Shift-A, which is going to add an auto layout. Okay, so let me show you how it's done again. So let me ungroup the elements, and I will quickly illustrate how it works. So for example, you have disarranged elements. You don't want to, like, you have placed them chaotically in your artboard. Now you can select them, click Shift-A, and here you can control the gap. You can set the paddings, anything you might want is here. So you don't have to manually go and calculate it. It will be placed here. Quite handy if you want to group elements and place them according to some rules that you want to set up. Okay, so let me resize. Let me resize this one, and let's go and copy this this text. Okay, quickly go and add text element. Okay, rated 5 out of 5 by users. Just decrease the size just a bit, like so. And also I would click auto width to shrink it, to shrink the container. Okay, so what we can do now, let's see how this card works. So here we have these 2 elements grouped together vertically, and these 2 groups, these two types of elements grouped together horizontally. So let's do that. Let me check the chat again. Okay. Oh, some more comments. Love it. How can I change the favicon? Again, my moderator already answered. So awesome, great. Again, feel free to ask any questions because I'm checking the chat from time to time to see if everything is running smoothly. Okay, so let's go and let's again select these 2 elements, click Shift-A. This will add auto layout, and as you can see that the elements are now grouped horizontally or vertically, sorry. So for example, here you can see the direction is set to vertical, but you can also set it to horizontal, like so, or to wrap, which will bring any content that doesn't fit the container to the next row. But we need to set it to just vertical for the sake of convenience. And now we need to, again, group this set of elements. So this icon and this group. We are going to select it, click Shift A, and now we have this group. So as you can see in the layers panel, you can also see all the elements nested all nicely here within this bigger group. And what we need to do is we need to align the elements within this bigger group. And I want them to be aligned to the center. So right now so by default, they were aligned to the top. So I want to align them to the center. And similarly, as we did with these little tags that we added, you can also add background. And I will add a 20 pixel padding on each side, like so. And I will go and set a border radius of 24 pixels, similarly as we did with different elements like this. Okay, so we have that. Let's go and see what else we can do. So we have this followers element, and we have some time to add this as well. So let's go and add a vector. Again, we want to recreate this arrow here. So we are going to the vector editor, going to delete this element because we don't need it. And I will be using this draw tool to, let me zoom in a bit. And so I will create this path, and then I will add an arrow like this. So it's like drawing inside your conventional graphic editors. Okay, so let's go and I will just quickly place it here. Okay. And add this arrow here. Okay, and move it around. Let's zoom in a bit. Like so. Okay, and I want to increase the width to about 2 pixels. And I will move again this point like this. Okay, let's click done. And by the way, I need to change the color of my stroke to a greenish one. Oops, let's go and change that again. Okay, so I want, and let me save this color and go and do the same. Okay, so here we have an arrow, and let's place it here, and let's go and copy this text. Add a text element, followers, and enable auto width, and then I want to add this number near the arrow. Okay, I will just duplicate the text by clicking Option, And again, working with hotkeys is always a great idea because it saves you so much time and, you know, just energy of clicking around. And okay, so here we have followers like this, and probably I will go for something more brighter green. Okay, so something like this, and then I'll go to color library and set this one. Okay, green. And like so, and now I need to change the it's quite hard to yes, I will close it anyway. Okay, so I will change, let me change it to the green that we had. Okay, so like that. Okay, so now we need to group, need to change this color to green again. So let's group it together again. So I selected both elements, and now I'm clicking Shift A to add auto layout, and I will go and align the elements to the center. So now they are placed just like in our example, in our prototype. And I want to decrease the gap to about 5 pixels. So there is also no, there is almost no gap here. And the followers is set to this grayish color. And again, I will select all elements, click Ctrl A. This will add the auto layout. And now I want to work with, so the direction is set to vertical, just as intended. So now we need to go and add a background. And we have this, gradient applied to our background. So I will select linear gradient, and I will go and change it up here. So we have the same, set it to 100% opacity, and change the angle to about 105 degrees, like so. Okay, we need to add some paddings, just as we did with previous elements. And if you see that the container kind of breaks, it needs you need to check out the settings here of the container with auto layout applied. So we need to set it to hug, and this will hug the elements tightly, and this will set this will fit the content within it. Okay, let's go and quickly set, yes, 24 pixels as well. And probably I will go and add some more paddings. So I will make it slightly less rounded though. 14 pixels, like this. Okay, we have pretty much all the elements. So now we need to place them within our artboard, and then we need to, you know, create a final look. So here we have our button. Here we have the text, different kind of text here. So we are just going to be placing it according to our prototype. So let's go and see. So here we have this checkbox. So we are not going to be recreating this loved bubble because it's pretty much the same. It follows the same principle. Okay, so let's change that like so, and I will increase again the size a bit. Then I will increase the size of the shape here and here. Okay, so everything is placed nicely. Move this to the bottom, and we have quite a lot of layers already. So yeah. Let's do that. Okay, so this is looking great. So this is looking almost like our prototype here. And what we need to do now is we need to add some dynamic elements. So we need to add some animation to, you know, make this layout come to life. So we have already done this hover animation. So every time you hover over this button, it changes the color, it changes the shadow. So now we need to work. So, and I will set just a quick, simple animation reveal for this heading. So every time the page will load, we are going to be seeing a smooth effect that reveals this heading. Okay, so I will go to basic animation here, and I will set the animation to fade in up. So this is going to create this effect. So you can play the element and preview how it works. Okay, so for the button, I will do the same. So I will go to basic animation, set to fade in up, and I will add a little delay. So a delay allows you to play elements in a different order. So I will set a delay of about 1.0 seconds. So it appears a bit later than the heading. Okay, so this is quite easy. This is how you add basic animation. However, say you want to add some movement here. So I want to, for example, every time I hover over this figure, over this girl, I want elements around her to move, to interact with the user. So it's more engaging, it's more dynamic, and it captures your attention because you can hover, you can interact with this website. It's always a good idea to add, you know, these micro interactions that allow you to make users stay longer on the website. So let's select this object group with our text, and let's go to step-by-step animation. So we have basic animation settings and we have step-by-step animation. Let me check the chat just real quick. Okay, awesome. No questions so far, but I hope that everything is to your liking. Okay, so let's continue with this one. So again, we have accessed the step-by-step animation. So we want to animate this effect on hover, right? But we want to go a step further and to make this figure, this girl, as a trigger for animation to start. So every time I will hover over this girl, so I click add trigger and I click on this element. Every time I do it, this element will move. So step-by-step animation is a bit more complex, and you can do a lot with it. And we have a whole guide on how to work with step-by-step animation, and you can really achieve quite a lot with step-by-step animation settings. So you can create on-scroll animations, on-click animations. So right now we are creating on-hover animation. So you can do pretty much anything, add storytelling elements to your website. And again, we have quite a few workshops on how to do that, so you might want to check it out. Specifically, our last workshop was dedicated to, again, recreating different web animation effects in ZeroBlock. So we have set up the trigger. So now when we hover over this girl, this text will animate. So we need to add a first step, and I will set the duration to about 1.0 seconds. So this is the time frame where the element will move. Okay, and I want to scale it up a bit, like so. Let's play the element. So this is how it would work. So every time I hover over this girl, the element will play. Okay, so we did that. And if you want to, play with the smoothness, if you want to make the animation more appealing to the eye, you might want to check out this easing setting. And for example, select this ease in preset. That will make the movement more just smoother overall. Okay, so now it appears a bit smoothly. Okay, so we did that. Let's save and close. And I will show you how it works. So let's go to preview mode. So now every time I hover over this girl, this speech bubble gets bigger and expands. Okay, let's go back to editing. I will increase the size just a bit like so. And what you can do is, what's amazing again, is that everything is super customizable, but also you can save different presets. So for example, you can go and copy the animation settings from this bubble that we had and apply the same settings to all the other elements. So I click paste animation from clipboard, and now the animation is applied. And the same here. So let's go to step-by-step animation and click paste here. So for example, you want a slight delay. So I will go and customize this step. So this step follows the exact rules that we have set for this. We can add a little delay of 0.2 seconds here. And for this one, for this brand strategy, again, I want to add again a small delay of about 0.5 seconds. So it's delayed by half a second. Okay, so as for this one, as for this small icon, I want it to be animated. So it, kind of grabs the attention. It's a really small element, and we can play around with it. So I want to animate it. Every time the element appears on the screen, I want it to be animated. So I select element on screen under event. So this is what will trigger the animation, right? So I'm selecting that, and I want to make it, make it move just a bit. So expand and shrink, expand and shrink. So it kind of jumps back and forth and grabs the attention. Okay, so I have added the first step. I will set the duration to about 1.5 seconds. You can always play with the duration and scale, movement, and customize it to fit your specific needs. So you can always play the element and see how it works. And so next I want to add a second step. Again, I will keep the duration at half second, so 1.5 seconds, so like something like that. Okay, and I will now scale it up just a bit, like so. And then I will move. I will create another step, and I will decrease the size to 100% again. Okay, like this. So as you can see now, this small icon moves. However, in order to repeat the same, we need a lot of steps. We need a lot of animation steps to repeat this movement. So it can only move for about 1 second and then stop. But if you want to loop it, you need to go and set loop under loop in the step-by-step animation settings. And what this will do is this will make the movement continuous. So this will repeat itself after these 3 steps. Okay, let's save it up and close it. And as for these 2 elements, I just want to add some basic animations. So let's go and do that. And fade in. Like so. Okay, so let's preview our layout. And now as we hover over this girl, the website starts to move around. All right, let's go back to editing. And you might want to, you might have some questions on how to optimize it. So in order to optimize this setup, this layout, you need to access the screen, the mobile view here at the top. So you have different breakpoints. So you have a tablet, horizontal mobile, horizontal tablet, and stuff like that. So you now need to optimize this layout to fit the mobile version. So, and this is how you do it. So you just go and adjust the size just like this. So it's quite easy. Let's go and just quickly optimize it and decrease the size like so. But make sure that, or just keep in mind that on hover animation will not work on mobile because it's triggered by hover. It's triggered by mouse movement. So all the animation that we have set up on hover will not work. But that's okay because we can always again adapt this to fit the functionality of our specific platform. Okay, like this. And again, if you don't need some elements, you can just leave it here. And if you still want to, for example, you want to feature these social proof block, you can always place it here at the bottom. Okay, and decrease the size a bit, and it will work just like so. Okay, so in order to, for example, so this is an on hover animation, so we're not going to be working with that, but this one is triggered by just being presented on the screen. So I will go to the mobile animation and I will click switch on. And so now this icon will be animated on mobile. Okay, so, and I will do the same. So I will go to mobile animation and I will click switch on. And I will go to mobile animation again and click switch on as well. And click switch on. So this is how you optimize your layout for mobile. Of course, you need to tweak something, so some elements will not fit the screen, and some animations, for example, some functionality will be lost just due to not having a mouse. It's quite easy to work with. And you can do the same for different breakpoints. So we are not going to be doing that today, but you can always go and do it yourself. Okay, so I will probably paste it somewhere here. And I will go and move it here. Okay, so that works great. Let's save it up and close. So there is one more thing that we need to do is we need to change the font for this hero section that we have created today. So in order to do that, let's go back to our dashboard and let's go to site settings. So, and here in the site settings, so first, these are the main settings. So you can, again, input the website description, anything you like. So here you can add a custom domain, you can preview analytics, you can work on SEO. Everything you need to launch your website is here, but since we were working with design, we are not going to need that. So I will go to the fonts tab here, and here you can see that this default Tilda Sans font is selected, but I want to customize it and I want to pick something from the Google Fonts library. Say I want to go for the Intertight that we had. Here, so this is our font, and so you can scroll through the library and check it out. And I want to set this font for headings and body text. So you can quickly check this box and ready. You don't need to do this manually. Okay, so let's go back and see what it looks like, and boom, everything is now again everything is customized when it comes to the fonts as well. So let's click publish, and I will grab some water. And this is what our hero section excuse me, and this is what our hero section looks like. I have been talking for over an hour, so excuse my cranky voice. As you can see, so here we have the hover animation, everything pops. So this one is looped, so this icon always moves, and these two just appear when you load the page. So this hero section really allows you to customize everything and to, you know, match your brand's vision, match your brand's voice. And I think with Zero Block, you can do it so much faster than you would using custom code, and it really allows you to have this whole tool set of different techniques, of different mechanics that you can use on a website. All right, we are done with our workshop today. Let me see if I still have comments, and I have. So I have a question on the auto layout. Is it a way to make it take the window percentage height and width as the reference to the site? All right, so not quite. So auto layout still, so with auto layout, you still need to adapt. Yes, replace. Okay, so with auto layout, you still need to adapt your layout to different breakpoints, but it's quite easy. So let me just quickly go and so in order to just in order to make your content fit the screen size, you can go and enable auto scale. So this will auto scale everything, your grid container, all the content within your grid container. It will auto scale it to match the window width. So it will kind of expand the content to match your, say, bigger size, bigger monitor. But as for different breakpoints, as for different devices or screen sizes, you still might want to go and just drag it manually. However, so for example, let me quickly show you how it's done. So let's go and create just a simple set of cards, right? So let's go and add a shape. So say you have product cards from a product catalog, right? So you have quite a lot of them, like so. So for example, you have 4. And so let's add auto layout. So we'll click Shift A, and this will, again, this will apply auto layout. I will quickly align it to the center, like so. And so first you can enable wrap direction. So for example, you're adding, so wrap brings all the content that doesn't fit the container to the next row. So this is one thing that makes it really responsive. So for example, I'm just copying and pasting my cards, and they are adapting to match my container. All right, so next, say you want to optimize it for mobile, and that looks quite large. So I will go and I will just shrink this like so. So still you need to go and manually access different screen sizes here. So you need to go to mobile view, but since you have a pre-selected set of rules, so you have already input some rules for your elements to be placed according to them, you can just quickly go, and this wrap direction, it moves all the content that doesn't fit the grid container, it moves them to the next row. So say you have optimized your card for mobile, then you go and you want 3 cards to be placed on each row. So you do that. And then you go and, so here you might want to have only 2 cards. Oh, and by the way, if you enable, so right now the container is set to grid, but you can set it to window container. And this will help you match your content as you expand it. All right, so I hope that helped. Let me check the chat. Yeah, so this is how auto layout works. If you want a separate workshop, we have already hosted one. But again, if you want to have one more, we can easily do that. And as for today, we are wrapping up. And just a quick reminder for those who have joined us a bit later, that we have a special promo code for all of the workshop attendees that you can grab right now, and you can see it on the screen, and you can go and activate it. Again, if you haven't tried Tilda, whole 6 months, and we will also send you this promo code in an email. So just as a reminder to grab those 6 months, and you can watch through a whole bunch of content on a website or on our channel and learn along. Okay, so, and you can also go and subscribe to our webinars newsletter in order not to miss any of our upcoming events. So it's at webinars.tilda.cc/en. So, and I will also provide the link in the chat. So you go and, again, leave your email and stay tuned for any of our upcoming events. And as for our social media, you can find us pretty much anywhere. So you can subscribe to this YouTube channel, and we are hosting all kinds of workshops every month. So we do workshops on website building, on marketing, design, anything you name. And if you have any suggestions, feel free to reach out to us and share your ideas for the next workshop. You can follow us, connect with us on Instagram, on Twitter /X, any platform that you prefer. All right, and that was it for today. I'm so excited to, to have hosted it, and I hope we will have amazing time next time. Bye bye.